Hey, Elizabeth. Good afternoon again, everyone. This session will be recorded. You'll still see me on camera, of course, and our WIPSEAM team. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us. Elizabeth is from Grant Boulevard. So after I talk a lot about the program, the position, key dates, we will have some Q&A. So thank you so much for joining us. Right now, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Perfect. And let's go over the agenda for today. Of course, we're going to talk about the West Philadelphia Skills Initiative. We go by WIPSEAM. Grant Boulevard Sewist position. We're going to do a role overview so that way you know what the expectations and what they're looking for and a participant in training. The Sewist program schedule, the application process, and then of course some Q&A. So WIPSEAM, again, West Philadelphia Skills Initiative, we design and we run programs that connect you to the tools and supports needed to build a career that is meaningful to you. We're a bold solution that's necessary to close the opportunity gap in Philadelphia. This is our second cohort that we partnered with the great team at Grant Boulevard for WIPSEAM to offer professional development. And then, of course, for the Grant Boulevard team, to offer that technical training as our employer partner. We at WIPSEAM, we met with the Grant Boulevard team to better understand their culture, build out this program, hiring practices, what they're looking for, so we can build this customized solution to meet employers' needs, but also job seekers' needs. So the energy that we bring to our job seekers is the same energy we bring to our employer partnerships to build those trusting relationships. And this is how WIPSEAM does what it does. Again, study those employer needs and those job seeker needs. Build out the customized training program to prepare participants, not only for the job at the end of the tunnel, but for a career. Our goal with this training opportunity is not only you receive the professional development, but you'll also receive the technical trainings and foundations from our Grant Boulevard instructors and trainers. We spread the word in our community. We reach out to community partners. We have an email blast list. We're on social media, so we hope you're following us on IG. Technical schools, community partners, any way to get the word out so that we can connect with talented individuals who are ready and willing to contribute to their next employer. And then finally, we make great and successful matches. We match our graduates to employment opportunities, so you'll end this training not only fully trained and upskilled to be a sewist, but also connect with a potential employer partner as well for employment opportunities. Our goal, again, is to build strong and trusting relationships with you as job seekers, as we do with our employer partners. We also listen to your pain points and respond to them to create the solution, which is the Fashion the Future Forward program to connect individuals with upskilling to be a sewist, and then also this job opportunity. So now I'm going to talk about Grant Boulevard. Grant Boulevard is a Philadelphia-based manufacturing startup on a mission to construct stylish, sustainable source fashion, while again supporting their community. They support women who have been formerly incarcerated or experienced homelessness, been justice impacted, and leading self-sufficient lives. They partner with other local nonprofits, government agencies, in order to create fair wage employment opportunities. Grant Boulevard partnered with WIPSEAM and also the city to develop this customized program in order for women who have been justice impacted to get the training that they need in manufacturing and fashion production, also professional development, and then also reintegration case management services with one of our case management partners to make sure that you can lead self-sufficient lives, receive this upskilling, and then also make a difference within your communities. Now let's talk about what they're looking for and desired applicants for this program. The goal. You want to make sure you are interested in learning how to sew, be a seamstress, and work in fashion manufacturing. You do not have to have any sewing experience, but we know in some of the applications and some of your experience, you have some patchwork experience. You work with someone to learn how to sew before, but again, you'll receive that hands-on training from our Grant Boulevard team. We're looking for individuals that have attention to detail. That's important, right? Willingness to make mistakes and be open to feedback on key skills to complete the technical training. Again, you don't have to learn how to sew, just eager to learn, willing to make mistakes and learn from them, and then open to the feedback from the Grant Boulevard team and then the WIPC staff as well. Problem solver, right? Again, want to make sure you're open to that feedback. If you see a problem, talk it out. A great team player. We want you to make sure you make a difference when you join the Grant Boulevard team, when you're in our classroom spaces. So being a problem solver is a must. I talked about that attention to detail, being open to feedback. You're going to receiving a lot of information, a lot of feedback on how to do these skills. A growth mindset is going to be important, so I can't stress these items enough. Fine motor skills, okay? So the fine motor skills are movements that require coordination of the fingers, hands, and wrists, so you can complete these tasks every day. You also need a high school and diploma, and you'll need that for all of WIPC's programs. And of course, as a sewist in this position, you're going to be really trained on the quality assurance of garments. So again, we want to make sure you have an eye for detail, and you'll learn how to maintain a clean and organized production and sewing space.
I lost my Zoom.
I want to talk a little bit about the technical training that you'll be receiving as well. And if you could see in this picture, it's our at WIPC, our executive director, Kate, with, of course, Kimberly, who's the founder and CEO of Grant Boulevard. Excuse me, and one of our graduates, Miss Maggie. This is at our closing ceremony. So we wanted to make sure to highlight them, because Miss Maggie, she was part of our program last year. She graduated, so she got the skills that she needed to actually earn a position with Grant Boulevard. So let me talk a little bit about the technical training you'll receive. Professional ironing and steaming techniques, fabric education for terminology, fabric identification, fabric preparation and cutting, production requirements from labels, tags, folding, hanging, quality control, hand sewing techniques from hemming, button application, stitches, embroidery stitches, cutting, preparing for production, industrial machine sewing techniques from single needle sewing machines, from straight and curved seams, darts and pleating, zipper application, buttonhole creation, a serger sewing machine, everything from seam finishing, hem prepping, and edge finishing. And again, you'll receive hands-on training from our Grant Boulevard instructors. You'll work in the warehouse space, so you'll get a feel for the culture. And the team is so excited to bring on some new trainees. Now, this slide is dedicated to really talk about kind of your career pathway throughout the program. The first things first, you're going to be a participant. You're going to be enrolled in WIPC's professional development, earning a weekly stipend of $150 per week. We'll be doing everything from team building, thinking about your own professional brand, focusing and honing in on that growth mindset, interviewing skills. We'll do even some customer service scenarios. We'll talk about being open to feedback and receiving feedback, really get you in the mindset and prepared for this technical training. Then you'll join the technical training at Grant Boulevard. You'll receive a weekly stipend for that, again, $150 a week for 7 weeks. that will prepare you for on-the-job training. You'll have 4 weeks of on-the-job training at Grant Boulevard. That's where you'll earn $15 an hour for 4 weeks. You're showing up as if you're a staff member ready to join Grant Boulevard's team. You'll receive your assignments. You'll have some daily check-ins, and you'll be doing that for 4 weeks. And then graduating from our program, you'll also have an opportunity to interview and join the Grant Boulevard team as a sewist. I wanted to make sure we talked about that. During your technical training, you'll also, for those 7 weeks, you'll also participate in some mindfulness activities. Kimberly and Elizabeth at Grant Boulevard, they really think about you as a whole person. So they'll incorporate different activities to really bring home the work that you're doing, and then also focus again on your self-care. So I'm always excited about the mindfulness activities. Now let's talk about the calendar, because that's really, really important as you're making a commitment to this program, because we know it is 14 weeks. Our goal is to make sure you don't plan to miss any time. So we like to tell you exactly the dates of these activities. We're currently recruiting for the program. Recruitment started July 9th, but it says up here, well, actually, Morris, can you confirm for me? I think we're longer than July 16th for this, right? Don't we end July 23rd?
For sure.
Yep, absolutely, y'all. Correction on that. You have plenty of time to apply for the program. July 23rd is the last date. If you have any questions about the application process, please let us know. But you have over a week and a half to really get your application into WIPSI. If you move forward with this program for our recruitment process, you'll receive an email from WIPSI. I know Morris dropped our email in the chat, our wipsi@universitycity.org. Once you apply, star us, because we'll be sending you emails just about different updates, or to come in for an interview, meet with the WIPSI team. We'll collect some onboarding documents and materials you'll need to start employment, and we'll give you additional information about the program. If you do move forward after the interview, you'll be invited to a participant agreement meeting. That's when you'll meet others that's going to be in your cohort. You'll meet the WIPSI staff, and that's really people-centered, because we'll talk more about the program and the commitment that you're making. And then programming will start August the 12th, okay? So you'll be here at WIPSI Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You'll be on our 3rd floor receiving professional development from our WIPSI staff members and facilitators. Technical training will then start right after that holiday, September the 3rd. You'll be at the Grant Boulevard location, and no worries, during those 3 weeks with us, we'll actually visit Grant Boulevard. You'll get to tour the space. You'll meet the staff. You can envision yourself working in the studio before you start your technical training. That's going to be 3 days a week, Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. After that, you'll move into your on-the-job training with Grant Boulevard, earning that $15 an hour. And that's going to be Mondays to Wednesdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So as you can see with this schedule, we want you to be able to commit to these days and these time frames, but you'll have some days of the week where you're not going to be assigned to participate in activities. So if you have other appointments, other obligations, this schedule allows you to receive the training, work with an employer, plus have that flexibility for that work and family balance, okay? After you complete our program, we'll have a closing ceremony where we'll celebrate you. You can invite your friends and family to that session. It was so inspiring when we had it for our first cohort at Grant Boulevard. We'll ask for feedback on the program and really celebrate your success as becoming Sewist. Now, let's go over the steps of the application. Of course, you're attending this information session with us, right? These are always important so you can learn the ins and outs and what Grant Boulevard and the WIPSI team is looking for. Complete an application, okay? We want to make sure you answer all the questions on that application. Submit your high school diploma, GED. If you have any issues with uploading any documents that we're looking for, make sure to reach out to WIPSI. We're here to support you, okay? We'll invite you to come in to a WIPSI interview day. So that way we can meet you, talk to you more about the program. You'll do some activities with us. And again, further move along in our recruitment process. You'll also have a reading assessment. That assessment is only for our programming team to prepare what is needed for the classroom management, all right? Don't be worried, it's a 25-minute assessment as you move through our process. Check your email. The best way to communicate with a WIPSI staff member is through email. You can email us. We're available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll respond back to you timely. So anytime you have any questions about your application or where you're at in this process, please reach out to us. If you move forward, we'll invite you to our participant agreement meeting, which is 9 a.m. at the WIPSI office. If you came for an interview, you know where to go for that as you move through this process. You'll be here with myself, Morris, and then also Gifty, our manager of our programming team, where we can really get to meet you and talk more about the program and the commitment not only you're making to the program, what WIPSI's making to the program, Grant Boulevard's making to the program, and all the supports that we have for you in order to be successful throughout this journey with us. And then finally, the program will start August 12th, Monday at 9 a.m. You'll have all of the dates for the commitments, all of the key dates. We'll have spaces for you to ask questions, but the journey will start with us that Monday, August the 12th, 9 a.m. here at WIPSI. Throughout this process, you'll receive kind of information on key dates. Morris is dropping some key dates. The reason why joining this information session is so important is that you can make sure that this commitment that you're making to yourself, to your career in fashion production, you can make that commitment, and that commitment fix your life. So we're really, really excited for everybody here to answer any questions that you may have about the program. I'm actually going to end our slide session right now, so you can stop hearing me talk for a little bit. I want to give an opportunity to introduce our fabulous team from Grant Boulevard, and I'll kick us off with the first question too. So Kimberly and Elizabeth, please feel free to introduce yourselves, and if anything I missed talking about Grant Boulevard, please share it out with us now.
Elizabeth, I'll jump in first. Hey, everybody. I'm Kimberly McLawn. I'm the founder of Grant Boulevard. This is a company that I started back in 2017. I was a classroom teacher at the time and was thinking a lot about, what's the way forward for everyone? What's the best interest of the common good? And how could we build businesses that really centered the balance of taking care of how do we get more access to living wage work, and how do we think about the climate and the things that we need to think about as the earth gets warmer and our communities, particularly those that are Black and brown, get hotter. And so that's what Grant Boulevard has always from the beginning wanted to do. We've always wanted to figure out how do we create just radically inclusive opportunities, particularly for Black and brown women whose lives have been impacted by the criminal system, recognizing that's where so much of the struggle in this current economy, where it lives. And so our solidarity, our active solidarity, is figuring out how to create some space and a culture of care. So we do that through constructing garments, and we do that through taking care of our really diverse community of consumers, who are looking for luxury goods, crafted goods that are made here in Philadelphia. So that's what we're really super excited about when it comes to the future of the brand. Elizabeth, did I miss anything?
You did not. You said it beautifully. So I'll just do a quick intro of myself. Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Quinn. I'm the COO of Grant Boulevard. I've been working with Kimberly since 2019. Spent most of my career as a designer and a design director within different, parts of the industry here in the greater Philadelphia area. In the last 6 or 8 years, I've been teaching at both Drexel and now at Albury College. Really excited to be working with Grant Boulevard for the last, several years on this joint vision that Kimberly and I have to reimagine what the fashion industry should be and how we should be caring for each other in our communities while we're making beautiful things as well. So just really excited to be here.
Thank you both. I'll kick us off with our first question. What does it take to be a successful trainee at Grant Boulevard?
It's a great question. I think that, you know, one of the things that we're looking for is consistency and persistence in terms of effort. You know, learning something new can be really hard, and we understand that. We're looking for a cohort of women who are really trying to figure out how they can be a part of a team, contribute to a team, you know, and learn a new skill with the real desire to just continue to get better. And you get better when you show up every day. You get better when you show up on time. You get better when you ask questions, whether it's one-on-one, if that feels more comfortable, in the group setting. Oftentimes, you know, the question that you have, someone else has. So we're looking for people who want to be a part of a community that really is very different than I think a lot of companies have in terms of the energy. We're really excited about all of our potential to do something new. And so we're looking for people who are trying to figure out that pathway, who are curious about fashion, yes, but are also curious about what it means to be a person who is stepping into a new identity as someone with an earned skill, with a craft. And so that's something that we really value. And that idea, you know, Lauren, you mentioned the word mindset. For us, it's also about, you know, how are we elevating our own sense of who we are and what we want for ourselves? How are we learning how to set goals and to pursue goals and accomplish things? And then to recognize where other people are pursuing the same things and encourage them. So I think those are all some of the things that we think about and that we learned in the first cohort, is the success in this journey, like any journey, is showing up every day. It's, you know, looking for the lessons and trying to hold on to a positive attitude that even when you run into a stumbling block, which that happens, that you learn how to really kind of just mature in your capacity to say, it was a block, I'm not down, let's get focused, let's shake it off, let's get back up, let's get back in the machine, let's keep going. So that's the kind of, I think that's the kind of energy that we like to offer, and that's the kind of energy that we like to just create. And I think that those are the skills that will make you great no matter what you're doing, whether it's trying to figure out how to, you know, strengthen your family relationships, or, you know, be a better daughter or a better caretaker, if that's what you do outside of work. So we really want to figure out how to support you and just stepping into your full potential, whatever that may be. And we really are excited that perhaps at Grant Boulevard, you find a place that you're excited to share what you're learning and excited to share who you are. So I hope that answers the question, Lauren.
Absolutely. If you saw me, I was giving you some hearts as you was talking.
I saw
so thank you so much for that. My next question before we turn it over to the group, if you have any questions and you don't want to come off of mute, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to type them in the chat. My next question that I want to ask, what parts of the work as a sewist tend to be the most difficult for new employees or trainees? And how does the Grant Boulevard team provide support?
I'm gonna drop that in the lap of Elizabeth.
I think the first step is the hardest step, to be honest with you. You know, it's just sitting down in front of a sewing machine that you may or may not have ever sat down in front of before, and being willing to make a mistake, because the first couple stitches are never going to go well. And they're the hardest ones, the ones that you realize, you know, even if they aren't the right stitches, they are part of that learning process. And just being open to, you know, open to all of the little, what we would normally call failures, all the little mistakes that come along with learning a new skill. I often tell people learning to sew is like learning to walk or learning to ride a bike. It's a completely different language. It's a completely different use of your, you know, fine motor skills and your different body parts, and just how you even sit in a chair. It's different when you're sewing. So those first stitches are the hardest. And I think, you know, Kimberly spoke beautifully about, you know, what it takes to be successful. And I think just having patience with yourself as you start that journey, and also having patience with each other, because we know, having been through these cohorts before, that it is a journey for all of us together, and we either collectively succeed or we collectively fail. So that patience for yourself and for each other is so, so, so important. Was there a second part to that question? I forget, Lauren.
No, I think you answered it. Pretty much the support that the Grant Boulevard team will provide. So thank you so much for that, for Elizabeth. That was great. Some questions that came in via the chat. Can you apply if you identify as a woman? Absolutely. Just make sure you submit an application by the due date. Is the COVID vaccination required? No, it is not. The COVID vaccination is not required, is not part of our application. Will applicants with sewing experience be preferred? If you do have sewing experience, note it on your application. We love reading about kind of your history. If you sold, some of the applicants might talk about how they sold with their grandmothers who taught them how to sew or do any patchwork. Just want to make sure you include that. And also, that's part of your additional qualifications and skills. So make sure you add that. You don't necessarily have to have sewing experience. It's, again, that willingness to learn, coming in with a positive mindset, being open to the feedback, because you're going to receive that extensive training. And the biggest thing, making sure you show up every day to learn. What does justice impacted mean? Kimberly, if I get, please add to this if I missed anything. For this program, we are looking for women who have been directly impacted by the justice system. So that can be from being arrested, that can be from serving time, finished probation. If anyone that has had any contact directly with the criminal justice system, you are eligible for this program.
And the reason is, just adding
yeah.
to that, and I see that
Thank
Janine, you have a couple of questions, so I just want to acknowledge that that those are in the chat and that we're going to get to you. But we are really thinking about how are we recognizing the extra layers of challenge, of struggle, of marginalization that experience can create, and the trauma that it can create as well. So we have a particular sensitivity to that, just to kind of add a little bit of nuance to what Lauren's saying, who we really want to make space for first and most, right? So, and that going back to that notion of women and what it means to be a woman, there are many pathways to the journey of that story and how it moves. And we're very much so in solidarity with how that's defined for you as an individual. So, if you identify as a woman, then we want to make space for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Kimberly. Janine has some questions in the chat. Asking about, are there any requirements regarding immigration status, must be an LPR, have a visa, etc., or is all that is needed is for a student to be a resident of Philadelphia, like a Philadelphia city ID? Janine, that's a great question for WIPSI programs. They must be individuals that can work in Philadelphia. That can work. So if they have the documents where they are able to work, be it a visa, they can participate in a WIPSI program. Absolutely. Yeah, you got it. So in most cases, we'll have individuals who have a social security card, they'll have a visa, they can enroll in our program with no issue. And then Kimberly talked about, is this program open to all genders? So I think we're good to go on that. Thank you for those great questions, Janine.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. Perfect. Are there any more questions you have?
Yes.
Someone just, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time. The question that I have is about the involvement with the justice system. So because I work at AFAHO, African Family Health Organization, my name is Leita, and then we have some clients who are interested. We saw your flyers, so we have some clients who are interested. They wanted to ask for the involvement with the justice system, like when some clients come to the border, like the Texas border, they are held in like a detention center for like 2 weeks. Can that be count as like involvement with the justice system?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, and because you might be having some participants who are interested, Feel free to email us here at WIPSI. If you have any questions, if they need any additional support, we love when community partners join these conversations because one, we can introduce ourselves. And if you need any additional support or questions about the application process, let us know. So thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, great.
Hi, for the ones that's incarcerated, because I was incarcerated, do I have to bring proof of like discharge or like release papers?
Not at all. When you come in for a WIPSI interview day, one of the forms you'll complete with us is the consent just to run your background checks. So you don't have to bring anything with you. The only thing that we've request from you is some onboarding documents, which is your ID. And then also we'll ask you to possibly bring your resume because we don't collect those things during the application. Maybe your social security card. But no, we'll consent to run your background check, Ms. Williams. So no, you don't have to bring that with you.
All right, thank you so much.
No problem. I answered you too, because I saw your direct message. Great question. Do we have any more questions? No, normally when I ask that, a couple of times somebody comes in with the question, but let me briefly just go over key dates with everybody again. I know Morris dropped them in the chat, but I just want to make sure everybody's aware. You have time to take in all of this information and apply for the WIPSI program. Our application closes at 5 p.m. on July 23rd. You want to make sure you do a full application. And if you have any questions as you're doing that application, please reach out to WIPSI. Put the Grant Boulevard Sewist program in the subject line. Someone from our recruitment team will definitely get back to you timely. If you move forward with us, you'll get an email from WIPSI. So make sure you star our email address so that way you'll have it. The program will officially start August the 12th. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That first day, you want to be here at 9 a.m. But if you move forward, we'll invite you the Thursday before. I believe it's the 8th, 9 a.m. for a meet and greet, talk about the program, and then the commitment with us. This is a 14-week program with a lot of flexibility and a lot of support from the WIPSI Grant Boulevard teams. We'll also have a case manager that is on board that's going to be providing supports from the time you start until even after you graduate. Ms. Sherelle from the Fruits of the Family Table. We're really intentional about the services and the supports that we're going to be offering individuals in the cohort. You'll be with us from August 12th all the way down to our closing focus group, which is scheduled right now for November the 15th. You'll be earning an incentive for participating with us until you're on the job training. And for the 4 weeks of on the job training, that's when you'll be earning that $15 an hour. All right, I might have missed some questions that came in. Hold on.
There was only one direct message about how many people are going to be accepted into the program.
Absolutely. We're looking for 12 friends for the program. 12 friends. And I think someone asked about the schedule, the technical training schedule that we have up there is 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The on-the-job training schedule, and that's your work schedule. So you'll be at Grant Boulevard working 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So once you start your technical training, it'll be Monday through Friday, Monday through Wednesday. You'll get a full schedule printout. So technical training, on the job training, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Someone asked, I see that the program is hybrid. So this is an in-person program that you'll be participating in. So your professional development will be in person. Your technical training and your on-the-job training, that will all be in person. The only thing that would be on Zoom, that will be your career coaching. So part of your professional development is that we connect you with a career coach to talk through your career journeys, support you when you're going through the 14-week program, and that will be on Zoom. And you can do that from your mobile device. Morris answered that.
Oh, and I'll add in that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
When in the programming, sometimes people from the program team like talk through everyone through like the Slack channel, an application that you download. So the hybrid part might also be kind of hinting on that part too, just having access to computer device or a phone where any of the media updates will be shared in that
Mhm.
program channel.
Thank you for that, Morris. Any more questions? Going once, going twice. All right. I want to first thank our potential participants, crossing fingers and putting in the air for everybody, for joining us in this afternoon for this session. We always love when applicants join our sessions because you know exactly what to put on that application and the expectations of the program. And I also want to thank our different community partners that join to advocate for your applicants. And if you have any questions as well, feel free to reach out to WIPSI. And I can't thank them enough. Thank you to Elizabeth and Kimberly from our Grant Boulevard team. Thank you for this partnership, for doing this cohort, making a difference within our communities and really supporting individuals who will join this cohort and learning how to sew and exposing them to such a great industry in fashion. So thank you everybody for joining us this afternoon. If you have any other questions, you're not thinking about them now, but after you get off the call, you're thinking about it, please reach out to us at WIPSI. We'll stick around maybe just a minute or so, just in case anybody has a question. Thank you, Morris. He actually dropped the website to Grant Boulevard. That way you got more insight on your future employer, right? Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing your applications and then you moving through our recruitment process this month. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou.
Lauren, that
After
was
the chat.
fantastic.
Thank you.